Hello YouTube and welcome to part 16. In this video we're going to write our tests and we're going to be using our speed test app for that. So let me just briefly walk you through what we're going to be doing, and our tests are going to start at this screen. So we should have made at least one speed test, or otherwise this is not going to work. So once you have this screen, then we're gonna open the app, which is gonna open the screen. Then we're gonna assert that all this labels like ping, download, upload, the results, the share button, the test again, and the remove ads button are present on the screen. Then we're gonna go to results and we're gonna check that these buttons here are also present. This tools button and the results label is here. Then we're gonna go to our about page and we're gonna make sure that the privacy policy and the terms of use links are here as well. As I said, I'm not going to be doing settings because they contain some sensitive information that I don't want to show, so that's why I'm gonna skip this, but you guys feel free to do the settings as well. So let's go ahead and start. Let's go into our test directory here, and let's create a test primer first. So we're gonna right click on test and say create new Java class, and let's call it test primer. Now we're going to be running this test primer with a class suit. So we're going to say suit.class, and then we're also going to call on our suit classes with annotation at suit.suitClasses, and then we're going to specify which classes we want in this primer, and those are navigation class and the functionality class. So this test primer now is going to run this two suits for us anytime we trigger it. So let's go into our navigation and let's create first let's create a private variable that will hold our speed test, and we're going to reference our speed test from Android app.speedtest. The reason we're doing this is so instead of referencing our speed test this way, like android.app.speedtest, we can just say speed test, blah blah blah. So this is a bit more convenient for us. And the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna create before class. And remember, before class has to be public static void. And then we're going to use our test info variable that we have inside of our test manager, and we're going to set the suit name for this test suit, and this is going to be navigation. And then another thing that we're going to do is we're going to use our actually let's make this static so we can reference this. So now if you say speed test, I can open it. So we'll open our speed test, and then we can start creating our tests. Tests just have to be public void. So let's say test 1, and then we can again use our test info to give some test metadata. So this is going to be like test ID. We can say test 1. Maybe if you want to specify test name. So in this one we can perhaps say let's see, verify verify that home activity has all the elements, something like that. And then remember, guys, you can set other stuff as well, like expected results, maybe some notes, anything you want. Feel free to experiment with it. I'll just leave it at this 2 for ID and the name. So once we open the app, this is going to be the very first test that we'll run. So initial open of the app will actually open the screen. So I don't need to do anything else. I just need to make sure that all these elements are present on the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say assert, and I want to assert true because I'm going to go into our speed test, home, UI object, and then I'm going to make sure that all of those elements are present. So we need to check that the ping exists. And for some reason we have this not sure why we have it. Okay, maybe we just imported something, a wrong framework here, I think. Try it again. Actually, let's try this. Let's just import it this way. So let's see, we have ping, then we have ping speed, then we have download, and we have download speed. Then we also have upload. There's lots of elements, so gonna make sure we get them all. So upload speed, then we have share button, then we have remove ads button, and test again button. Anything we missed? Okay, we can double check that the logo is there as well. Okay, I think that's it for this activity. Alright, let's go and do our next test. Say public void test2. For this one, we also can send the test info. I will also just set the ID and the name. This is verify verify that results has sorting buttons, and the ID is test2. So in this one, we actually will have to use our speed test menu to tap on the results. So what that does is just taps this thing here. So we say speed test, which is the whole app, and then we go into the menu, and the menu is this bottom part, and then we say tap results. So that's what it's going to do. It's just going to tap here. Now once we are in this activity, we can go ahead and verify that this buttons are here. This sorting buttons is what I call them. And then we'll also verify that this results label and the tools button or the icon is also present, and we can do the logo as well. So let's go ahead and just paste that in, and this time we're gonna use speed test results UI object. So we are interested in the tools button, and the results label, and then we're interested in a bunch of sorting buttons. Sort by download, sort by ping, sort by time, sort by type, and sort by upload. So that's it. I think. Let's just double check that that's it. Yep. Oh, actually, we can also do the logo. Don't forget that. Okay, now we can go ahead and create a third test. Also use test info to give the ID test3 and the name. So in this one we are going to verify excuse me for the cough. In this one we're going to verify that the about activity has privacy policy and terms of use links. So we're gonna tap into our speed test and we're gonna go to menu as well, and then we're gonna tap about, and that will do the same thing. Click the about on the menu bar, and here we just need to verify two things. So change this to about, and we need to verify the privacy policy exists and the terms of use exists. Okay, I think that will be it for this test suite. Let's copy that guy here and let's go into our functionality test suite. Just paste that in so we have our reference. And then let's create a test. We're not gonna do before class method because this is going to be the only test in this suite. So we're just gonna put everything into this test. But if you will have more than one test, then I would advise to just create a before class method to like set the test suite name and whatnot. Let's see, public void test, let's just call it test4, and also use test info, test ID, test4, and then we can give it a suite. This is functionality, and then we can set the name. This is verify that you can, what do they call it, that you can test again. And basically what this test is going to do is going to verify that once we press test again, it runs the test and test can complete. So in this one we are going to reference our speed test menu again, and we're going to tap speed test. And then once we are inside of the speed test, we're gonna go into speed test home, tap test again, and let's just double check that test again actually runs and waits for the test to finish, and looks like it does. So it taps test again button, waits for it to disappear, and then waits for it to appear again in 2 minutes tops. Okay, so let's go back here. So now we can actually also verify that all these items will also appear after the test is done. So we can just paste this stuff in here. Okay, that looks good enough for me. So let's try to run our tests. Well, actually, before we do that, well, first thing we gotta do is go to our runner and make sure we replace this stuff here. Make sure to leave the driver manager create driver part, but delete this. And then we're gonna use JUnit core to run classes, and the classes that we want to run is the test primer. It's the only class that we want to run. So that's it for our runner. Now one more thing that I want to do is if we go to our test manager over here, we can actually say, like for example, we can go into a test info. Let's say suit. What we can do, let's do this. Actually, this will be a bit more useful. Let's create public static void method in here that says print results. And the only thing this is going to do is it's going to use my logger to log info out, and it's going to just print out test information when it passes or when it fails. So we can say, let's see, test ID. And we can do sort of the same thing for test name. And then let's do suit. And then if we go back to our test manager, here we can also use my logger to log info, and we can say test failed, and then test info, print test results, something like that. Let's see. Okay, I think that's good enough. Let me go ahead and start my Appium server, and we can run our test. Let's go into a runner and right click on main and say run runner main, and let's see what's going to happen. Okay, looks like everything passed. Let's take a look at the output here. So it created driver, and then the very first thing it did, tested the navigation, right? So test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4. So verify home activity has all of the elements, and then it set the test suite, but the test suite looks like it wasn't set. And that's a little bit odd, because it did open the app. So before class definitely worked, and I think the reason that this did not work is because in before, right here, we actually reset test info. Yep, that's why it did not work. And if you look at the output later down the road, we actually see that test 4 worked because we have our test suite set inside of the test itself. So that's why this worked. So for now, I'll try to address this in the future videos, but for now, I guess what we can do here is we can copy this thing, and then let's just paste it in here and do it this way. So if you do it this way, it's not going to reset it. Well, we can do it this way, or we can also do it this way. Like, we can remove it from here, and we can do before. And we can just use the test info here and set the suit ID like this. And what's going to happen is this is going to be ran first. Okay, test manager before method will be ran first, so it will reset the test info, and then we're gonna run the before test method here, which is going to set the test suit in this case, and then it's gonna set all the other stuff. Let's just test this to make sure that's the way it's gonna be. Let's go ahead and run the tests again. Also guys, if something looks kind of odd on the screen here, I did increase the font. Somebody requested it to be a little larger, and I think that's legit. So I did increase the font a little bit, so if something looks a bit odd, that's why. So now we can see that the test suit was set properly. And that's what we wanted to fix, because everything else was already working. Alright, let's take a look at the output one more time, just to make sure everything is correct. So test 2, verify results, has sorting buttons, navigation, tapping on the about menu, wait for about activity, okay, test pass, and this is the test details, then tap on speed test, do the speed test, test pass, this is the details. Okay, so it looks like everything is working pretty good. So I'm gonna stop here for this video. In the next video we are going to make some improvements to our driver manager, and you saw me start the Appium server here manually before I started my tests. So in the next video we will take a look at how we can improve our driver manager to do this step for us, so we don't have to start Appium instances at all. So that's it for this video guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe and share. Take care.